Hello, and welcome to Profiles, where we bring you stories about ordinary people who've taken the professional path less traveled, followed their passions, and found success. I'm your host, Paulette Payne. Today we'll be talking with Michelle and Melissa Cary about their female-owned and operated plumbing company, Cary and Daughters Plumbing. In a traditionally male-dominated industry, these ladies and the women on their staff have found fulfillment and success. Welcome, Melissa and Michelle. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. You do that so good.
Well, thank you. So, tell us about Cary and Daughters. How did this get started?
Daddy. He needed help, cheap labor.
Cheap help.
The official cut it to the bare bones story is he wanted to take his girls, because of course he didn't have boys, and give them firm, solid foundation. Don't have to rely on anyone to make your way in life, and that was it. And this is what he had to offer. He was a plumber, so.
Oh, okay. So it runs in the family.
Yes.
And you guys decided, well, we want to continue the family tradition, the family legacy.
We didn't have help.
Because Dad said so.
Yes, we had help deciding. I mean, it was a great thing, you know, because you're young and you're dumb and you don't know what you know. So we were pushed, but we were pushed in the right place.
Certainly, certainly. So. And it's clear that you're very passionate about what you're doing. Before we started the show, we were talking about the passion, and at the end of the day, you find fulfillment in helping people. Yes. Now, I'm sure there are women out there who wonder, well, why are these ladies in plumbing? You know, you think of sewers and things of that nature. And I personally don't know if I'd want to necessarily put my hands in that, but you all are doing it, and you're doing it well. What would you say to women who may be curious?
Do it.
Try it.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes out in the wash.
Always comes out in the wash.
I'm the last one to complain when the kids are dirty. I was always the dirtiest one on the block. I could walk outside and be dirty. It didn't matter. You know, that's what bathtubs are for. So, you know, it's take your precautions, your gloves, be smart. Get your
be smart.
What are your the hepatitis, the vaccinations, and then go for it.
Yeah,
have a good time, because it's all about a good time.
Yeah,
and I said we were talking about, it's not the working conditions, not by a long shot. It's the working conditions. If it's hot outside, you're hot. If it's cold outside, you're cold. You know, you're dirty, you're cold, you're wet, you're smelly. I've run out restaurants before. Okay?
Oh wow.
I have walked in smelling so bad that the restaurant cleared out. Of course, we didn't have to wait for service, so it was right there. But it's all good. It's all, you know.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's all in a day's work.
And you enjoy it at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah, well, I had ulterior motives. I wanted Gloria Vanderbilt blue jeans. And my dad wasn't paying for those. So it was, whoosh, go to work, make that money, get your blue jeans. And that's what it was. I mean, that's what it was. It was the 70s, and, you know, we had just started over, and it is what it is, you know. They didn't have the money for that. We didn't have the money for that. Go to work and earn your blue jeans.
Yeah, wow. So they taught you the value of hard work.
Yes.
And integrity in doing this hard work.
Yes.
And it's trickled over into the success that is Cary and Daughters.
Everything was equated to how hard you had to work to have it. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, you're going to have to work so many days or so many weeks to buy this. Do you want it that bad?
Yeah. Well, you know, you were talking about in the 70s, and during that time, you know, men were predominantly the ones who were going into homes and doing this line of work. Have you seen the trends change since that time?
Some. There's still not a lot of women out there doing what we do, or in the trades in general. You have a handful, and outside of that handful, there's really not.
Wow.
There's really not.
It's not something you usually wake up one day and say, this is what I want to do, you know. It's most people that are in it, and this is kind of, this is like why this is so good. Most people that are in any of the professional trades, they're in it because that's what their fathers do. You ever see my cousin Vinny?
Yeah.
You know, my father's a mechanic, my uncle's a mechanic, my two brothers on my father's side, you know, all of that. That's how that happens. People don't think about it, you know, and like the working condition not the greatest, but you have you have the freedoms, the freedoms that you don't have if you're locked in an office all day. You're out and about. People call us all the time. We can sell you GPS units. You know where your trucks are all the time. I said, I know where my trucks are all the time. They said, well, what if they're goofing off? I said, they call me to come join them. You got to come. There's a yard sale around the corner, or I'm at CVS. Do you need anything? And nobody dictates to them. There's a freedom. You come and you go. You get your work done. You work hard. You give it everything you got. And nobody bothers you.
Right?
I don't have to get up and spend 2 hours getting ready. I mean, I sweated over the makeup this morning. I don't do makeup, and I don't, do we do business casual? Do we do work clothes? Well, who's going to really understand? I mean, I don't have to go through any of that.
So there's liberty in what you're doing, and freedom.
Yes.
And we were talking about your families, and you were just doting over your children and your families. Is it possible to juggle family and the business?
I will not say it's the easiest thing I've ever done, but it's pretty rewarding. Having her, well, I have a daughter, she has 2 sons, but having my child there, just being able to have her there after school, when in a traditional place, you wouldn't be allowed to bring your child to work with you after school. I get to bring her, she gets to see what mom does. If she's not old enough to go out yet, but eventually she will be, and she'll want to because it's exciting and it's learning, and she loves to learn. Her oldest son, this summer.
Don't get me in trouble with the labor law people.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a family business. Whatever. He's out on a truck this summer, learning, just like he was last summer, learning what it is, what it takes, and how to do it.
Yeah.
And you got to juggle it, but by the same token, they're also getting a life lesson, the same life lesson that you got growing up in a plumbing shop.
That's right.
And it's beautiful how you're marrying the way you all were brought up in the business and the way you're now bringing your children up in the business, and teaching them that there's success and there's gratification in all lines of work.
Got to put your time in.
That's right.
And I just had this conversation with somebody. I'm a true believer that all of the good things, all of the successes, they all come from not forgetting where you came from. I mean,
that's true. You
hold on to your heritage, your traditions, your values as long and as far and as hard and as wide as you possibly can. And that's, they need to know. They need to know why there's school functions, and by the time I get off work and I get into that auditorium, I'm the one covered in mud, and
everybody else is
they
dressed
need
up.
they need to not be embarrassed by that. They need to be proud of that. They need,
I don't think they are.
I mean, they need to have an idea, and that's why we were talking. When we drive down the street, it's like, Joshy, I did that house, and I did that house, and I did, and I put that grease trap in over, and it's like, and then he was going on a field trip one day, and they were in the bus. And some kid hollers out, Josh, there's your mom. And they all pointed to this billboard, and it was like pride. It's all about, it has to make them feel good. You know?
And at the end of the day, it sounds like that's what it boils down to, you all, this pride and this gratification, knowing that your hands have really transformed a house and the people who live there, or the company and the people who work there. So that's pretty huge.
I was laughed at career days. When I was in high school, I was laughed at. I mean, who wants to be the doctors and who wants to be the lawyers, and does anybody want to do anything else, And it was like, what do you? I'm going to be a plumber, and the whole auditorium is in bloody hysterics.
Yeah.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
look
now
who's
we get
laughing
asked
now.
to come speak at career day.
I guess we do.
Right. So look who has the laugh now.
I want to laugh. It's like, okay, I will do it in spite of you. I don't. You
and
can
I will
laugh
give
all
it
day
my
long.
all, and I will teach them anything that I can teach them in the half hour you give me.
I have customers that send they send their kids to me over the summers. Can he work with you for a few days or a week and see what it's like and what it's all, because like I said, if you're not brought up in the business, it's not something you would normally think to do. But I mean, it's so gratifying, and it's not just what they say. You only have to know 3 things about plumbing: hot's on the left, cold's on the right.
That's
and
more
it's like
than that. It's so much more than that.
There is a whole world of art and craft and
pride and
everything.
Like you said, it's your craft.
Right, exactly.
It's what you've taken years and years and years to perfect. Everybody thinks, oh, well, you were only here 30 minutes. Well, you're not paying me for
What
I did.
Right.
You're paying me for my knowledge, my
Exactly.
expertise, for doing it right the first time.
Exactly.
Not 10 tries later, oh, now I got it.
Well, you guys are certainly doing, you ladies, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You
We're
ladies.
not, yeah, we don't stand on those ceremonies.
You ladies are doing a phenomenal job, and you're giving other women an opportunity to explore options, to explore their options, and understand that there's more than just one thing out there to do. So congratulations with Cary and Daughters
Thank you
Plumbing.
so much.
Thank you
Well,
so
thanks
much
for
for joining.
having us.
Oh,
Thank
my
you very
pleasure.
much for
My
having
pleasure.
us.
Thank you. Thank you. She's an 18-year-old singer, songwriter, and bassist who now has her eyes set on Berklee College of Music. Find out more about today's Artist Spotlight when we return.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today.